if you work a second job, a side hustle, or overtime, you want to make sure that you don't count on that money. When you're setting up your budget, especially if you're just starting out, you want to make sure that you identify that money separately from the money that pays the base bills. Now, if you're destitute and you have no other choice, put it all together. But if you can pay your base bills with your day job, make sure that in your budget that your extra money is going to something specific, whether it's paying off debt, creating an emergency fund, saving for a car, or even something like a vacation, because at some point that is not going to become available. And there's two things that I wanted to tell you about this. One is, I know people that work overtime and their lifestyle has creeped so that they absolutely have to work the overtime or they can't pay the bills. Now, working extensive hours is not sustainable. At some point, you're going to reach burnout. And you want to make sure that you don't have financial creep expecting the overtime, and then someday it dries up and you're screwed. A personal example is in 2016, I took a second job and I did it for 3 years. I was trying to pay off debt and pay for my kids' college and trying to set up an emergency fund. And I knew that it was a finite amount of time. I had a light at the end of the tunnel. So when I was working every day for 3 years, some days from 8 o'clock in the morning until midnight during the week, I knew that eventually I would be able to stop because I didn't include that money in my regular salary. Again, if you absolutely need that extra money to live, you got to do what you got to do. But if you don't start putting it in with your regular budget money. Make sure you have it separate so that if something happens in your life, they stop doing overtime, something physical, or you're just burnt out, you can go ahead and stop.